Hey, welcome. Today we're going to talk about goals, setting goals, achieving goals, what that looks like. And the focus is really on personal goals. If you have landed on this channel today because you were searching about goals, setting goals, especially a SMART goal, and I will get into what that means in a minute. But if you've landed here specifically for that, and you are under the age of 60, please stay to the end and I will talk to you a little bit about why that's important to me. But this particular video or conversation is about setting personal goals. It can be translated, though, into business as well. Most of the people that watch and follow this channel are over the age of 60. And we are some of us still work, and some people still have bosses that set goals in the business sense, maybe set goals for us, or you have to set them for yourself in business. But it is just as important to set personal goals. So I wanted to talk a little bit about that today, because if you are over 60, especially if you are retired and you are not required to be on a schedule and to achieve things on a timely basis as a day in, day out lifestyle. You're just having to create your own schedule in your own world. Then I think it's even more important to have goals than not. So let me introduce myself. I'm Leslie Tadlock, and this is A Tad More Living. This channel is designed for those of us over 60 to collaborate on how we can live even more active, more youthful, more healthy lives beyond the age of 60 specifically. We're living longer as a society. The years beyond 60 used to be a much smaller window, and you were supposed to be a senior citizen. This is a whole new time for us now. Some of us have 30, 35 years left. And I don't know about you, but I don't want to spend 30 to 35 years trying to figure out what to do every day. I want to have some structure and have some goals and things that I'm trying to achieve. This will also help me to stay more physically fit, mentally fit, potentially financially fit, and will create a lifestyle that helps me to grow instead of shrink. So let's talk about goals. Most of us, maybe I shouldn't even say most of us, a lot of people have heard of SMART goals. That's an acronym that creates the word SMART for the type of goal that is smart to set. Does that make sense? So let me walk you through that a little bit. And I have notes because I tend to get lost in it a little bit. But I don't think these are in the order that they should be in. But in order to spell the word SMART, they're out of order. But the very first word starts with an S, of course, and that is that it is specific. As an example, for this video, to explain this goal setting technique, I'm just going to say it's August and you want to lose 30 pounds by the end of the year. That's a specific goal. You could say you just want to lose weight, or you could say you just want to get in better shape, but that's not a specific goal. A specific goal is I want to lose 30 pounds. That's a specific goal. So now the S is out of the way. The next letter in SMART is an M, and that is measurable. It needs to be a measurable goal so that you know when it's starting, know when it's finishing, and you can measure along the way how you're achieving it. And at the end, if you've lost 30 pounds, you've been successful. That's the measure of your goal. So we've got the S and the M out of the way, a specific goal that is measurable. The A is the letter that I wish was first. because it needs to be achievable. If it's something that you cannot achieve, if you wanted to lose 300 pounds in 5 months, that's not achievable. That doesn't make sense to set as a goal. You're setting yourself up to do nothing. You can try to lose a few pounds, but you're never going to be able to achieve the goal. It's specific. That's a very specific goal. And it's measurable because you can get to that point, but it's not achievable. It's got to make sense, right? It's got to be an achievable goal. The R is relevant. And this one, most people don't struggle with because you're probably setting a goal that makes sense for you. It's relevant for you and your lifestyle. I have never flown in a private plane. I'm not a pilot. I don't financially want to spend money on a plane. I could set a goal to have a private plane, my own private plane, by the end of the year. But is it relevant? Is it relevant for me and my lifestyle? And does it make sense at all? No. If I want to buy a plane someday, I probably should set some other goals between now and then. Because setting that goal is not relevant. And the very last letter, of course, is T. And the T is timely. When are we starting? And what is our cutoff date? And the best kind of goal, especially if it's a little bit more of a long-term goal, like a 5-month goal, is to be able to break it down into smaller bites so that you have a 1-month goal, second month goal, and so forth. But timely is the T. So this is, excuse me, a SMART goal, which is specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and timely. So now you've decided, I want to lose 30 pounds by the end of the year. And you probably are Googling all the latest maybe diet and exercise plans to help you get there. That is great. That's your focus on the goal. But one of the things that especially salespeople like to do is create a vision board or something that stays in front of us to remind us of the goal. And I started to wait. I knew I was going to do a video about vision boards in like December or January because I do one every year. And I was going to kind of save this topic for then, but it occurred to me that you can start a goal anytime you want. You can give yourself from August, it's August, by the way. When I'm recording this, it's 8/8/26. And so 5 months till the end of the year. And you could decide today that you needed to lose 30 pounds by the end of the year. You don't have to wait to January. I do a vision board in January, yes. But I also create little micro vision boards along the way. When I wake up today and think, well, I need by the end of this month to have achieved blah, 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 then I make sure to get that somewhere in front of me where I see it all the time. That can look like a Post-it on your bathroom mirror. You can take lipstick and write on your bathroom mirror, 30 pounds, 5 months, however it needs to look to you so that you see it often. And it is super simple and also not too many. I think I read that it's not smart. Yeah, I see what I did there. It's not smart to have more than 5 goals going at one time, especially in the same time stamp. So if you want to set certain goals for 2027, you might limit that to 5. But in the first quarter of 2027, there's a few things you want to achieve, and then maybe limit those to 5. But only 5 goals in front of your face every day. And here's why. The subconscious our subconscious drives what we do. And you just thought, well, I mean, I have to stop and think about it. Well, that's the point. If you're not having to stop and think about it, it will actually move you forward to achieving your goal differently than if you have to stop and think about it. So what I mean by that is if I see in front of me every single day, lose 30 pounds by Christmas, then as I'm making exercise decisions and food decisions, the more I see that, the more it becomes part of my subconscious, and my subconscious will drive the decisions that I make in eating and exercising. One of the goals that I have for this year, for 2026, is to spend more time with grandkids. That's on my 2026 vision board. 2 of the grandkids live 20 minutes from us. You would think I'd see them all the time, but we're all busy people. My husband and I still work. My daughter and her husband are super busy, and the grand twins, they're 10 years old, they are not only busy themselves with activities, but they go to see their dad every other weekend and every other week in the summer. So they're gone. They're only here half the time, especially the weekends is when we would normally see them. I'm saying that to tell you it's an effort. We have to schedule things. We have to make an effort to spend time with family and with the grandkids. And I've wanted more of that in my life. So I put it on my vision board. And so far, we're at August, and so far, I am seeing the grandkids more than I feel like I did last year. I'll be honest with you, it's not as measurable as most goals, but I'm just using it as an example that got into my subconscious. Seeing it every single day on my vision board got into my subconscious. So when we're making plans for the weekend, I tend to think, well, I wonder if the kids are home. I wonder what's the weather going to be like. I wonder if there's something that we could do that would incorporate spending time with the kids. That is that drive from the back of the brain somewhere. I don't stop and think about it. It's just coming naturally. So I would encourage you today to pick 1 to 5 things as your goals for wherever we are right now, to whatever point in time you'd like to achieve them. Whether it's run a 5K, lose 10, 30, 50 pounds, maybe start to learn a foreign language. Maybe it's to save a certain amount of money. You see what I'm saying? Maybe it's to pay something off. You've got a bill that you finance something and you want to pay it off. Maybe it's a credit card. Pick the goal, put it somewhere that you see it every single day, very clearly, very simply, just 2 or 3 words. Pay off Visa. And set yourself a long-term goal, 6 months, example, and then decide how you're going to achieve that along the way, and keep up with that information someplace else. What you see every day needs to be the simplest message, because that's what's going to just lock into your subconscious so that you can do all the things. And I promise you, let's stay with that example. Let's say you're going to pay off that Visa in 6 months. And that means that you've got to pay a certain amount of money every month that's different than you've been paying, or you would have already paid it off. So that's going to be a bit of a lifestyle change. And if you see that every single day, then when you go to the store or you're shopping online and you see something that you want it, but you don't necessarily need it, or you could go with a cheaper version of it, or maybe there's a discount coupon that you always ignore because it's too much trouble, but that would save you some money and I could put that towards the car payment. Your subconscious will start looking for the ways to create the means to get you to the goal. That's kind of all I wanted to talk about on goals today. And that this method and system and style of goal setting and goal keeping works for almost every goal you can imagine. It's a smart goal with a vision board. And vision board, all I mean by that is it can be as simple as a post-it on a mirror. You can put a post-it on your dash in your car. Whatever you need to do so that you see it over and over and over again. Maybe you want better posture. Maybe you saw a couple of pictures of yourself and your posture wasn't great. You're like, I need to stand up straighter. I need to do this or I need to do that. Well, that's something that we can easily forget to work on because, we're not seeing ourselves. And so put that post-it on the mirror, put that post-it in your car, and every time you see it, and pretty soon it's habit, pretty soon you've achieved the goal that you set. If you are here and you are under the age of 60, number one, thank you. Number two, thank you for staying as long as you've stayed. And number three is don't leave yet. This channel is designed for those of us that are over 60. That was my original intent. The more I study and reflect on life after 60, the more I realize that if I had known then what I know now, pops in my head all day, every day. Gosh, if we had only known then what we know now. And you know whether it's a relative or a friend or maybe it's yourself, the people that you say, oh, they just didn't take good care of themselves. Oh, yeah, well, they're only 70 and they're like that because they just didn't take good care of themselves. Well, what does that mean? And is it right now that you need to be taking care of yourself so that when you're 70, somebody doesn't say, he just didn't take good care of himself? So I would encourage you as a life lesson, as encouragement to take care of yourself now. I don't care if you're 25, I don't care if 35, 45, 55. Things that you do now will benefit you later. And you'll be glad you did. There's not one person living beyond the age of 60 that can say, nope, did it all perfectly. I am exactly what I wanted to be today. Nobody. There's not one person, even the ones that seem to have it all and do it all and feel great and look great and all those things. I would bet all the money I've ever seen that they could not say, yep, perfect, did it all perfectly. So go into these videos and dig around a little bit and look and see if you can be inspired to take care of things while you're young so that when you get here and you realize, I care. When you're 35, you're like, who's going to care when I'm 65 if I'm laying in a tanning bed now? Who's going to care, if I'm overweight in my 30s? When I'm 60, everything in your life that you have control of, you're going to care later how you controlled it. I promise. So dig around in the videos and see if you can get inspired to do some things now that later on in life you're going to be glad you did right. That's my sermon, my PSA. I'm standing on a soapbox. I'm actually trying to figure out if I could come up with a playlist that would attract younger people to learn what those things are so that they can make the decisions for the future. If you have any advice on what that playlist could be called and how to attract younger people to pay attention, please leave a comment. Also hit that subscribe button and the thumbs up if you don't mind. I would greatly appreciate it. Thanks again for being here. Have a great day.